Now that the hiking season's here, I know you're excited to grab your gear, pull a pack on, get a new pair of shoes, and jump out on the trail. And I love the enthusiasm. But we also need to remember there's a few things to consider before heading out there for a new season on the trail. Howdy folks. Well, it is official. Spring has arrived. Today, at least the day I'm filming this, not the day you're watching. Today is the first day of spring. And typically here in the Pacific Northwest, that means a rainy, cold day, but it's 70 degrees, the sun is out, and I'm standing here in the middle of a moss forest that should be cold and wet, but it is dry and beautiful. So I thought I'd take advantage of this. This is our first official outing of the season. That means the normal trails are going to be very busy today. It's also the day that the state parks here in Washington open up where you can enter the park without purchasing a discovery pass. So it's a way of trying to get folks out there, get them to become a little bit more attuned with the nature trails and hiking here in the Pacific Northwest. But it also means some really busy trails. So I'm out here in an alternative location. I'm not going to share where I'm at, and I know it's kind of selfish on my part, but this is an area I love to escape to sometimes. I don't know that I necessarily want to let everybody know it's here. So again, I know selfish on my part, but it's beautiful. I'd like to keep it that way. It's not uncommon for a person's fitness levels to be a little bit diminished after a long winter. It's in our nature to stay inside and stay warm. We tend to hibernate, so naturally we migrate to the couch and our snacks, which means the waistline might have expanded a little bit and the cardio fitness might not be quite as good as you're expecting. Don't set yourself up for failure right off the bat. You're going to want to set out on the first few hikes as simple training hikes. Keep them short, keep them nice and easy, and give yourself plenty of time. I have no idea where I am. One of the drawbacks to talking while walking is you tend to lose sight of your trail. That's right. I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to reconnoiter. I'm going to get back on trail. Now, in the event that you get lost and you're actually not sure how to find your trail, I'll post a tip up here on what to do if you get lost. But until then, bear with me as I look around a little bit and get reoriented. All right. There's a big difference between lost and not knowing where you are. I didn't know where I was, but I'm not lost. So I'm back on the trail. Can hear cars in the background, which tells me I'm getting pretty close to the end of our hike. So just as easy as it is to overestimate your abilities, it's equally easy to overpack for your adventure. Now, this is a case of do as I say, not as I do. Because I've always got way too much in my kit. I never know if I'm going to stop and cook a lunch or have a cup of coffee or just play when I'm out on a hike. But for your typical afternoon hike or even a day hike, all you really need is enough food and water to get by, maybe an emergency kit in the event of an unfortunate injury along the trail. That's about it. Don't overthink your hike. Just pack your basic essentials, keep it as light as possible, and get out there. One of the beauties of keeping a light pack is it reduces the strain on your body. And by reducing that body strain, it's going to give you that additional endurance for a longer hike and a more enjoyable one at the end. Probably one of the most understated, important things about hiking and hiking fitness is remembering to stretch. It's something we take for granted when we're young. Your body just is limber and loose and able to accomplish just about whatever you set out to. But as you start to get a little bit older, a little bit more trail weary, you're going to find that you've got aches and pains that you just don't know where they came from or why they won't go away. Stretching is going to help prevent a lot of those aches and pains and keep them from becoming injuries in the future. Now listen to me, I'm winded. Maybe I shouldn't talk when I'm walking uphill. Talk about fitness. So, stretching before your hike is critically important. That gives your body a chance to warm up the muscles, kind of shake off whatever stiffness you got from your car ride to the trailhead. And then, equally important, every time you stop for a water break or a snack break, take a couple more minutes and add a couple more stretches in before you head out on the trail. I try and stick with the basic plan of, before I do my hike, I spend 4 to 5 minutes stretching. I'm going to stretch out my back, my shoulders, my legs, my ankles, and my feet. Those are the pieces that are going to get the most impact on your trail, and they're going to take the most abuse throughout the day. Then, as I'm progressing throughout my hike, every time I stop for a water break or a snack, I stretch one more time. You don't need to put a lot of time into it, but put a lot of focus into the areas of your body that you're stretching. If you have anything that feels tight, or a pain or a soreness that just you can't seem to shake off, that's the area you need to focus on more with your stretching. Okay, I promise I'm not going to go into a full-fledged exercise stretching video. As you can tell, I've got a long ways to go on my own personal physique, and by no means am I an expert on this. But what I can tell you is I am an expert on back pain. I've suffered from back pain my entire life, and typically it's some basic things that I've done to myself and haven't supported my growth and development. So before you start heading out on your hike and you throw that heavy pack on, make sure you loosen up your back muscles. The easiest way to do that is to lock your knees in place with your feet together, and you're going to just bend at the waist. This simple bend and stretch exercise helps loosen up the back muscles and the lower leg muscles that are going to be most affected by carrying a heavy pack. Some simple stretches go a long way towards supporting yourself while you're out on your hike. Another area of our bodies that we all too often neglect are our feet. And ironically, that's the most important part of your body when you're hiking. If you have foot pain or feet that just don't seem to be able to hold up to the trail, you're not going to be able to go out there and hike. Take care of your feet. One foot stretch that I found immensely helpful is a very basic one. You're going to place your toe on an elevated surface, keeping your heel on the ground, and then slowly apply pressure and lean forward into your toe. This helps stretch the back of your leg and pull on the back of your heel. It loosens up all the tendons and muscles and gets you prepared for a long hike ahead. So folks, whatever your plans are for the hiking season to come, take a little bit of extra time, plan ahead and prepare. Give yourself a little bit of time to get back into shape before you do any major hikes. A little bit of planning, a little bit of preparation, and I guarantee you're gonna have a much better time out there on the trail. So whatever you do, folks, let's just get outside and have a great time doing it. I hope to see you out there on the trail soon. Let's go for a walk.